Hi all, just jamming to some Simo, my son's latest production, and I was thinking, why use the multimedia principle? And here's an example that shows why it's important. Have you ever tried to learn something difficult with no direction? It's virtually impossible without applying the multimedia principle. So what is the multimedia principle? It is a theory that was studied in depth by Richard Meyer, and it states that words and graphics are more conducive to learning rather than just text or graphics alone. Let's apply this principle to our first example. Okay, here's our bad example. No direction, no graphics, nothing. The procedure they used is known as FOIL. The F stands for the first two terms in each binomial, and we have to multiply those. So that gives us 2x squared. The O stands for the outer two terms. That gives us positive 5x when we multiply. The I stands for the inner two terms. That gives us negative 6x. And the L stands for the last two terms. That gives us negative 15. The last step in the procedure, combine like terms. So we have 2x squared minus x minus 15. And you can see we have the same answer as the bad example, only we used the multimedia principle. Today's objective is to learn what the multimedia principle is, how it is applied, and why it is important. Here is a good and bad example of the multimedia principle. If you were in this building and it was on fire, what escape directions would you prefer? I will take the one with the text and graphics. Here are the key benefits of the multimedia principle. Learners process information more efficiently. Learners are more engaged. Learners can link information to their prior knowledge. And learners will retain information longer. Here's a good example of the multimedia principle. The graphics and text are used in a concise manner that is based in theory, which will help learners learn. All right, let's do a check for understanding. Pause the video, go to the link below, complete a few questions, return, and I will review the answers. All right, here's a review of the check for understanding questions. The triple threat position was a bad example. There's no image to correspond to the text. Watch your step. This was a good but not great example. It used text and graphics to communicate the possible hazard. Rebounding. This was a good example. Graphics are relevant and text is short and to the point. The tiger. This was a bad example. It uses text and graphics, but they are placed too far apart. Now pause the video and see if you can answer the following questions. Here's a brief summary of the presentation. Hopefully by viewing this presentation, you learned why using the multimedia principle is important. And now I'm going back to Simo.
Yeah.